This is the Kreate-a-lope envelope maker, the fastest envelope maker on the planet. It doesn't require scissors or tracing, and this is how it works. This is the window. What you see through this window is what's going to end up on the front of the envelope. Place it on a piece of paper. Again, use that window to line up the image, and I want this image right here so I can write an address on it. And then you just tear the paper against the edge of the template. All you have to do is pull the paper against the edge of the template at a little bit of an angle. The closer you hold it down to the edge of the template, the cleaner the edges that you tear. When you're finished, you'll have a piece of paper the size of the template. You rip it, you flip it, you realign the template to the paper. There's a notch here at the bottom. And you just place this centerpiece right in here. And because I use the window to line up the image, this window right here, it'll be exactly under this piece of plastic right here. So you pull the paper firmly against the edge of the template, crease it down. This is the bottom flap coming up, and this is the top flap coming down. And then you just take a regular old glue stick and apply glue to the bottom flap like this. And you fold it up like this. Pull the template out, crease it down so you have a nice crisp edge, and here's your finished envelope. And like I said, because I used the window to line it up, I have my image exactly where I want it. There's a lot of cool ways to use this template. Here's another neat way that I like to use. Set up a photograph on your computer or through a color copier, and again, this is the window. This is what you'll see on the front of your envelope. So use it to line up your image, and I did this all beforehand just to set up this demonstration. And you just tear the paper against the edge. This is a really great way to customize an envelope to give to family or friends, and certainly a one-of-a-kind envelope. You rip it, you flip it, you realign this notch down here, drop the centerpiece into the window, and because I use the window to line up the image, it's always going to be under this centerpiece. Crease it all the way, pull it against the template. You can feel the template through the paper. This is the bottom flap. Apply a little bit of glue here. And then this is the top flap coming down. There's your finished envelope. No other template gives you this level of control when it comes to positioning images. This template has markings on it right here. This shows you where the paper overlaps and will disappear. It's marked position image here, and over here. This little area right here shows you where the top flap will fold over and hide your image. So this paper I rubber stamped. And what I did was I put the palm leaves here in the peak. I used the stamping over here in the center. The window showed me exactly where to put it. There's a beach chair here, and I put it upside down because the back flap's going to come around. And then I used a brayering technique and what have you. And now I have my paper, and all I do is I tear the paper against the edge of the template. You rip it, you flip it, you realign the template to the notch and make sure you're covering the paper. Drop the centerpiece in here like this. And again, because the window was used to line up the image, it's now positioned perfect, and you just crease the edges against the template. This is the bottom flap coming up. You can already see here that the beach chair is sitting in its right spot. Right here's the beach chair. And then this is the top flap, and you've got your palm leaves. If you compare this to the template, you can see here that this is the overlap right here, and any image under there would be covered by this flap coming over. So again, no other template gives you this level of control when positioning your images and creating envelopes. There's another neat thing you can do at this stage. There's a product called Lick and Stick. This is remoistenable envelope glue, and what this does is you simply apply it to the back flap over here like this. There's a valve controlled applicator tip here that controls the amount of glue that comes out, so not too much goes in there. You just apply it to the back flap, let it dry, and then when you're ready to use this envelope, you can just remoisten it, and it'll stick just like a store-bought envelope like this. It's a great idea. You can do you can create a bunch of these ahead of time and give them as a gift to someone. These are a card set and the envelopes to go with it, and they've all got lick and stick glue on them, so you give them to your non-crafting family and friends as a gift. I want to show you another really neat thing to do with this. This is an image that is created specifically for mailing. You see the little baby crying. This is a great place you can place an address right in here. And then all you do is tear the paper against the edge. There's rubber stamps out there that are like this. This particular image, if you visit our website, you can find it in the printable section. A freebie just to print out and just create these envelopes with. You just rip it, you flip it, you realign the paper to the template, the notch down here, drop this centerpiece into the window, and because we use the window to line up the image of the baby, he's directly underneath this piece as we fold it up. This is the bottom flap coming around. The templates were also designed to give you enough edge so that if you wanted to use a decal scissor on this edge to get it a little cleaner, it'll be just fine. There's plenty of room for it. So here's the baby. Place your address label in there, address in there, stamp. Here's another great way of using this. This is the size that I was just demonstrating is an A2, which is a standard invitation envelope size. 8.5 by 11 folded in quarters will fit in there. But this one here is a 5.5 by 5.5 inch square. I like to use this size to make envelopments. So I'm using a piece of scrapbook paper here, and I just tear the paper against the edge of the template. Actually, I want to make an envelopment, so there's a little notch here. I'm going to put it over here because I want to make this have each side very pointed. You just tear this against the edge of the template. This is a piece of scrapbook paper. When I make envelopments, I would actually be using a scissor on the edge to get a cleaner edge, but just for the demonstration here, I just want you to get the idea of it. So here's the finished piece. You rip it, you flip it. I didn't cut this, I didn't use the notch on this one, so it doesn't really matter that I'm lining it up. This template does have a very small notch on it. You just drop this piece in the center. You want to make sure you don't move that center piece. Just pull it away and just fold around the sides. This is one of those envelopments, enclosures, goes by a lot of different names. You can see here that I've got this set up here. I might use a sticker on this instead of just gluing it. If I wanted to mail this, something that's busy like this, I wouldn't just write on it. You could just make your own labels like so. You can also use those labels that you buy in an office supply store and just stick them on there. They do go through the post office. Square envelopes, though, in the United States, you should check with your post office. They do have a surcharge of just a couple cents extra. That was the 5.5. This first one was A2. That's 8.5 by 11 folded in quarters, fits in, and this is a little bit bigger. That's 5.5 by 5.5 inch square. This one over here is a number 10 business envelope. I like to use this one for bigger papers. Here's another great way of recycling old paper. This is an old map. So again, this is the window. This is what's going to end up on the front of the envelope. You just tear the paper against the edge of the paper, edge of the template. And again, sometimes I just push through the paper onto the template, so I'm make sure that I'm getting a clean rip here. So you just rip it, you flip it, you realign the template to the paper, drop this piece in the middle, the center piece, remove that, and just fold around the side. I always do the sides first, do the bottom, trying to make it, I'm holding it firmly so it's a tight folds around the template. I always apply glue to the bottom flap because that way you know you got glue to the edge of the paper. Because if you apply it here, you're not sure it's going to be glued, and you don't want to have any of this to be able to get caught. They do go through the mail machines, and you want them to be clean. So here's the envelope. Again, on this one I'd use a nice white address label for here, but great way of recycling, sending envelopes when you're traveling to your family and friends. Another great use, recycle old calendars. This is an old calendar from a couple years ago. So you just take advantage of the beautiful artwork. You line it up through your window, take the paper and just tear it against the edge. This is a little bit thinner. This is like a magazine page, which you can also use. You rip it, you flip it, you realign this notch over here, drop this into the middle. Because we use the window to line up the image, it's always underneath this plastic piece. It's totally goof-proof for positioning images. This is the bottom coming up. Glued to the bottom flap. And then this is the top flap, and there's your one-of-a-kind envelope. People always ask me how thick you can rip papers. This is a piece of wallpaper here, and I do this particular demonstration to show people a little bit of the technique, but also how thick it is. The best paper to use is a paper-backed wallpaper. Don't use the vinyl. And where do you get this stuff? You can actually get it for free from a lot of paper and wallpaper supply stores. When they discontinue the books, they give them away for free, or sometimes sell them for like $1 or so. So this is the window. This is what I want on the front. On this particular one, I want to leave a little area to write an address on. And again, this is just a little cool technique. I show people how it tears. So this is thick paper. Starts to come up on you like that, but I just showing you the angles that you're pulling against here. This is like the way this really works. The edges of the template aren't sharpened at all. It's kind of like the trick you learn in kindergarten or first grade to put a ruler on a piece of paper and just tear it. There's another interesting thing about wallpaper. Can't really see it here. This is not a dark enough color, but when you tear the wallpaper when it's face down, it will give you a clean edge. If you tear it when it's face up, there will be a white edge on the edge of the paper. It's hard to show in this particular setup here, but experiment with it and you'll see what I mean. So you rip it, you flip it, you realign the notch here, you drop the centerpiece in to the window. And the reason I'm demonstrating this particular one is to just show you that this will tear some thick papers. You just have to hold the template closer to the edge of the paper to make it work. And for wallpaper, it's thicker paper, so I'm more generous with the glue here. Sometimes I'll use a liquid glue. Actually, some of these glue sticks are really great, so it doesn't really matter all that much. But here's your one-of-a-kind envelope, and plenty of room for an address label with a dark pen. When I'm finished, I always like to crease these down just so they're just crisp and sharp, like so. This is a great envelope to use lick and stick on. This is that remoistenable envelope glue. Just to simply apply, let dry, then remoisten when ready to use.